Welcome back to Bahamian Mathematics. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and share to see more videos just like this one. In today's video, we will be using the clock to write time. Which arms are the minutes and which are the hours? We're going to find out now. Let's take a look at the parts of a clock. We can see that the numbers on the face go from 1 all the way around until we reach 12, one at a time. These are the hours, and they are denoted by the short hour hand on the clock. Let's put that into place. Now, how do we tell the minutes though? If we look on the clock between the big numbers, we can see that each number has a dark line right next to it. And in between, we see smaller dashes, and there are several of them between the two big numbers. The time between one of the large dashes and the small dashes is called a minute. And this is denoted by the minute hand, which is the longer hand, and we'll put that into place now. And now we're able to read the time on the clock with the long hand, the minute hand, and the short hand, the hour hand. If we imagine that 0 is here above the 12, this will help us to tell the minutes in time, and each small stroke is a minute. And so we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and when we reach the big number 1, that is 5 minutes. And every big number is 5 minutes. And so next to the big 2 is 10, that's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and so on, straight around until we get to 60. So let's try to tell the time. The shorthand, the hour hand, tells us the hour first. And so this shorthand is pointing to the number 1, and so we know that it is 1 hour and something minutes. The big hand, the long hand, is on the number 12, which means it has not moved past 0 yet, and so it is 1 o'clock, 1 hour and 0 minutes. Let's take a look at this time. The short hand is on the number 2. Here's the long hand, the minute hand. Again, it's on 0. And so this shows us that it is 2 o'clock. The small hand, the short hand, is on the 5. And so we know it is 5 something. The long hand is on the 12, which means 0 minutes. And so this is 5 o'clock. The short hand is on the 8. The long hand is on 12. Again, we know that's 0 minutes. And so this is 8 o'clock. But is it 8 o'clock in the morning or is it 8 o'clock in the evening? Well, that depends on whether it is 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. 8 a.m. means it is the morning, and 8 p.m. means it is the evening. So let's take a look at the short hand on the number 12 and the long hand also on the number 12. And this is 12 o'clock. But is it the morning or is it the evening? If it is 12 o'clock a.m., most of us are still sleeping, that is considered midnight. If it is 12 o'clock p.m., we call this 12 o'clock midday or 12 o'clock noon. So let's take a look at this time. The shorthand is on the 2, which means it is 2 something. And here's the 0 depicting minutes. Remember, every big number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, is 5 minutes. And so this is 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and so on. If the long hand is on the number 1, we know that this is 5 minutes past 2. And so the time is 2:05. 5 minutes past 2. Let's take a look at this. The shorthand is on the 4, so we know it is 4 something. And the long hand is on the 3. We know that the 3 means 15 minutes. And so our time is 4:15, or we can say 15 minutes past 4. This section of the clock represents 15 minutes. This section is another 15 minutes. This section is another 15 minutes. And this section, again, another 15 minutes. And so we call this section a quarter. A quarter of the clock is 15 minutes. And so we're also able to say a quarter past 4. Here we see the shorthand between the 6 and the 7. This tells us that it is 6 something. The longhand is on the number 5, which represents 25 minutes. Remember, every big number on the clock represents 5 minutes. And so this time is 6:25, or 25 minutes past 6. How about this? The shorthand is between the 8 and the 9, and so we know it is 8 something. The longhand is on the 10, which represents 50 minutes. And so our time is 8:50. We see that the shorthand is between the 8 and the 9. It is almost 9 o'clock. But we say this is 8:50, or 50 minutes past 8. Let's try this. The shorthand is just past the 5. So it is 5 something. The longhand, the minute hand, is between the 12 and the 1, which means it is between 0 minutes and 5 minutes. But exactly how much? Remember, we said every small dash is a minute. And so if we count 1, 2, 3 minutes, the time is 5:03, or 3 minutes past 5. Let's look at some more 1-minute intervals. The shorthand is right between the 11 and the 12, so it is 11 something. The longhand is between the 4 and the 5, so it is between 20 minutes past and 25 minutes past. And if we count 21, 22, we see that the time is 11:22, or 22 minutes past 11. How about this? The shorthand is between the 9 and the 10, so we know it is 9 something. The longhand is on the big 6, which represents 30 minutes. So it is 9:30, or 30 minutes past 9. Remember, this is half a clock, and because the longhand is on 30, we can say this is half past 9. The shorthand now is between the 3 and the 4 and is almost to the 4, but it's still not quite reached 4, so it is still 3 something. The longhand is between the 11 and the 12, which represents 55 minutes and 60 minutes. And we count 56, 57. The time is 3:57, or 57 minutes past 3. Now, because it's almost 4 o'clock, we can see that there are 1, 2, 3 minutes until we reach 4 o'clock. And sometimes we say it is 3 minutes to 4. And now it's quiz time. What time is it? You have 5 seconds. Time's up. The answer is 7:35. Number 2. Is it morning or evening? Time's up. We know 9:15 p.m. tells us it is evening. Question 3. What time is it? Use AM or PM. Time's up. If we look at the window outside, we see it's morning, and so this is 7:02 a.m. Number 4. What time is it? Use AM or PM. Time's up. We can see outside it is dark, which means it is evening, and so this is 11:24 p.m. And last one. What special time is this called? 5 seconds. Time's up. We see outside it's dark, and it is 12 o'clock, and we call that time midnight. 12 o'clock a.m. And now you've solved the mystery of how to use the clock to tell the time. Well done.